On today's show, a Minnesota artist preps for the big show. Bob White decks the walls of a Minnesota institution to show off his favorite outdoor memories. Minnesotans get a true bird's-eye view of a magical Mississippi River migration, way up close. And we get wild in the kitchen, outdoors, over the campfire.
Minnesota Bound. Brought to you by Minnesota's select GMC dealers.
Hey everybody, Laura and I welcome you to Minnesota Bound.
Bob White has always been one of Minnesota's most storied outdoor artists.
He literally has traveled around the world to find inspiration for his paintings.
And not long ago, he invited us to see some of his original works, exactly where they belong, right in front of his fans.
Bob White's wild critters normally pop up on paper and canvas, but today,
Yeah, he goes down on that last wall.
the butterflies dance in his belly.
The hardest part about this was deciding what to leave behind. I mean, I could have hung 100 paintings. I just do whatever Lisa tells me.
No.
Bob and his wife Lisa hang in the halls of Minnesota's well-established Minneapolis Club, a city institution since Chester Arthur sat in the White House.
Just kind of placing the artwork on the walls where they'll hang, kind of organizing things.
Bob preps for an artist's version of stage fright, the time when the art meets the audience.
This is going to be interesting.
Bob has always used a brush to document dreams and memories, parallels to his lifelong passion for outdoor pursuits.
I'm a painter and a writer, and I do quite a bit of sporting travel, organize hunting and fishing trips all over the world.
All over the world with the support of his biggest fan,
The right one
his wife
can
Lisa.
go. The whole thing can slide over. There's a lot of stillness in his work. He produces work that is, it kind of harkens back to an earlier time.
You know, there are fishing and hunting themes, there are birds, there are dogs, there are fish, there are some pure landscapes.
The goal is always to invite talented artists to be able to show their work.
Daniel Olson invited Bob to show his work in the club.
His pictures, his portraits, or his sketches invoke a memory. And so you can place yourself there.
Exactly why the club will open its doors to a crowd tonight.
That's an emergency light. You can't cover those things. Fire marshal would frown on that.
I had to pick all of my favorites, and you know, some didn't make the cut, and it was close, and kind of Sophie's choice in a way, you know. So all of these paintings, for me, they kind of represent, you know, my favorites. It's really neat for me to see 36 of my favorite paintings in one place at one time. So you're good with everything? She's good with everything. This is awesome.
So is the audience. A wave of fans wander the halls, eager to go face to face with originals and meet the mind behind the work.
I feel like I'm standing on the bridge with 20 or 30 friends, you know.
Well, this one I've always liked a lot. Instead of just the typical theme for hunting, it's got like the in-between work that the hunters do, and it really captures the real feeling, if you know what I'm saying.
You know, if somebody walks past one of these paintings and says, you know, I've been there, I know I've been there, then I know that I got something right.
Davin Brandt understands.
Whenever I look at Bob's work, it really reminds me of that wanting to get in the outdoors, to explore, to try new places. I like the stories that his paintings tell.
The local sporting art scene, he's sort of the godfather that we all look up to, and he's also the most generous, kindest person that I can imagine. So
Ted Hansen paints birds and fish and boats too.
For me, when I look at his work, I look at it, I first that emotional, like, I get it, I've been there, I've seen that. I know what that looks like, I can smell the grass, I can feel the wind.
Bob's art makes people think, and better yet, dream.
My guess is some high-flying mallards, but maybe it's some snow geese.
And that might be Bob's greatest work yet.
Oh, I think it's wonderful. It's beautiful. It makes me wish I was in some of them.
So for me, a painting is successful when it elicits responses beyond just the visual. You know, when you can look at it and you can feel the wet mist, or you can feel the wind, you know, or you can feel the temperature. Those paintings elicit those kinds of responses. Then again, I know I've gotten something right.
Coming up next, we bundle up for a special Minnesota moment. People migrate to the Mississippi to try and spot their favorite fall birds.
Minnesota Bound is brought to you by Minnesota's select GMC dealers, Rapala Ice Force, Star Bank, and by Pearson Salted Nut Rolls.
Up next, a party of sorts along the Mississippi River. This time of year, people have a chance to catch Minnesota's most majestic birds on the river, if you're willing to brave the snow and cold.
Long after Minnesota's milkweed goes to seed, life slows down with the cold. If you ever drive Highway 61 along Minnesota's Mississippi River, watch for marker 147. See it, and you'll find a party. Something's up.
So today we're here celebrating Waterfowl Observation Day.
It's usually the second or third weekend of November.
We get about 20% of the northeastern population of tundra swans that are moving through the refuge, and of course you can hear their chorus today. The party has started.
Birds of a feather get together to try and catch an up-close and fairly personal peek.
Take a peek, Bev.
Even at just 8 degrees above zero.
Everybody's nose is drifting, but we stick with it. Can't resist.
People gather at this roadside stop to look at birdie life in the Upper Mississippi River National Refuge.
It's rare to see such masses of birds, such numbers of them.
Well, the main birds we're hearing and seeing are the tundra swans. They come here to feed and rest on their way to the Chesapeake Bay, which is where they go in the winter. And each swan will eat about 6 pounds of arrowroot tubers a day. So they're hungry, but they're here to rest and feed. This is Tundra Central in November.
Terry Greer geared up with fancy camera lenses and a big spotting scope.
And binoculars, of course. So I have everything. It's one of the great migrations of the country, and very few people know about it.
Oh, Kate Fitzgerald knows.
I think the first time I came down to look at the swans was probably 30 years ago.
She's been dressing in proper migration gear ever since.
I've got lots of layers on, dressed like a good Minnesotan. Lots of wool.
The bald eagles are out here today.
There are all sorts of geese.
We've got some cool diving ducks.
They're all beautiful.
There's just so much to see in one small space.
This is Deke. This is my favorite lab. He's a fixture here. People recognize him from other years. Deaky.
It's just fun to see so many birds that you just don't normally see in Minnesota.
I like the sound. It's kind of a comforting sound, even though it's noisy. They're amazing to watch and listen to.
So, next November, listen for the birds. Look for the crowd. It's a little piece of Christmas early in November.
I always think of it like that package that I've ordered that is finally arriving. It's a fun celebration to look forward to every year.
It's magical. This is a bucket list place to come if you're a birder or any outdoor enthusiast. This is the place to be in November to see swans.
Closed captioning on Minnesota Bound is brought to you by Connecticut.
Nature's water. Connecticut water. Now that's a match. Connecticut, simple and non-electric, environmentally friendly. No clocks, no motors, no computers, just clean water, just like nature.
Connecticut, the most advanced, efficient water systems in the world. Better water flows from better thinking. Connecticut Home Water Systems.
Hi everybody, Chef Jim Kimberg from Crave Restaurants and I are getting wild in the outdoor kitchen today. And Chef Jim, we are cooking over the campfire. What are we making?
We're making venison lasagna today.
Ooh, that sounds good. Perfect for a hot meal after a long day in the woods.
Definitely.
Well, it looks like our coals are ready. What are the first steps to getting the recipe going?
We're gonna brown up some ground venison.
Ooh, all right. Skillet?
Skillet, bring it on.
First would be venison. Oh, there we go. Time for the good stuff. Whoa, there we go. How's that?
Good job. All right, next we're gonna season it up with a little salt, pepper.
Salt and pepper.
Italian herbs, let's do it.
Fresh is best.
All right, it's time for the sauce.
Cover it.
There we go, that looks perfect.
Delicious.
Then we'll set it aside and we can start building our lasagna. So we're gonna set this kind of right next to the coals. Touch of olive oil. Now we want a nice base layer of sauce to put those noodles in.
And here's a quick tip for you. You could bring along no boil lasagna noodles, or you can pre-boil your noodles and bring them along with you, like we did. Time to layer it up.
A good ½ inch. I think we're ready for some spinach.
Always good to add some greens. I always think this is a great way to get your kids to eat vegetables too.
Hide it in the meat. A sprinkle of cheese.
How about a handful?
A generous handful. We're gonna repeat the noodles. Last layer of noodles.
Layer of noodles.
All right, let's top it with the last bit of cheese we got. All right, we're gonna put the lid on it.
Now it's time to cook it up.
It is. So we gotta figure out how many coals we gotta put on top and how many coals we have underneath.
So it looks like we need 18 on top and 6 on the bottom.
One of the most common mistakes is having too much heat on the bottom, so that'll cook faster than the top. You end up with that crunchy bottom. We're just gonna place that right over the center of those coals.
It's gonna take a lot of muscle power right now.
Yeah. See how much you've been working out. Oh yeah, you've been hitting the gym.
That's right.
Now it's set it and forget it.
Set it and forget it. About how much time?
I'm guessing at least an hour.
My stomach is telling me it's been about an hour. I'm hungry. How about you?
I'm starting to smell it. It's smelling pretty good.
Should we take a look?
Let's take a little look here. A little blessing. Let's see what we got.
Woo! Look at that.
Looks pretty darn good.
Perfect.
Wow, not too shabby.
Venison lasagna, Dutch oven campfire cooking, gourmet in style, yet oh so easy.
And delicious.
Very delicious. I'm hungry. Wildly delicious.
It's really good. It's coming right to the center.
Still ahead, we celebrate life in deer camp at a place called 6 Star. It's home to decades of deer hunting tradition.
The beekeeper. Minnesota Bound is brought to you by your local carrier dealer, Radco Truck Accessories, And by Totem Resorts, the premier destination for world-class fishing.
When the temperature in your home starts to get uncomfortable, it's time to turn to your local heating and cooling expert. Lofgren Heating and Air Conditioning in Apple Valley will provide options for every budget, show you the best rebates and financing available, all while delivering outstanding customer service. With an efficient carrier system, you can rest easy knowing that you've made the right choice in comfort for your family. If your home is in the Apple Valley area, call Lofgren Heating and Air Conditioning today, or visit them online at lofgrenheating-ac.com. Carrier, turn to the experts.
We tackle 4 seasons every year.
But I only care about 2, hunting and fishing.
Equip your ride for life's adventures with Lear truck caps. Ultimate toppers custom fit to your truck. Lear's J-Clamp pocket technology provides a rock-solid fit and clean look. Add Lear's exclusive locker to pack and protect all your gear. Visit your neighborhood Radco store or shop online at radco.com.
When your truck looks good, you look good.
Deer camp is definitely a Minnesota tradition.
It sure is, and arguably it's our biggest opening day of the year, right?
Nowhere do hunters celebrate with more excitement than a place called 6 Star Deer Camp. My dad, Ron Shera, takes us there.
It's opening morning, my grandpa's home farm, one of our more productive stands. We're overlooking a field on one side and then kind of a thick patch of woods on the other, and we're hoping to see a big one.
It's opening day of Minnesota's firearm deer season. Blaine Nelson's big buck wish is shared by more than 400,000 other Minnesotans.
Shooting a 30-06. My dad bought it for me. It's a nice little gun. There's been a couple big deer sightings just within the last couple weeks.
Oh, look what Hope brought. A 4-legged ghost of the woods.
It's a 6-point buck. It's coming right to the scent that I put up. That scent is really getting through the woods good. If it was an opening morning, I might have pulled the trigger on that guy, but
He wants to sit a little longer. Surprised? Maybe you thought deer hunting was just about shooting deer. If so, you've never been to the 6 Star Deer Camp. 6 stars?
There's 6 Star jackets that we had made.
It represents the camp's 6 original members, dating back 35 years.
These hats, I think, were made a couple years later. These were made because the young guys, they were the B team. We decided that we should have hats too, so we put A team. The B team was the next generation. This is Monty right here.
Founder, Monty Bloomquist, passed away in 1988, but his memory lives on.
Back in approximately 1980, my dad and a few other guys got together and formed a hunting group, and it became more than just hunting.
Indeed, Camp 6 is like a community center on the eve of deer hunting.
There's other deer hunting parties that come here. There'll be mashed potatoes and venison. We fry the back straps and put cream on them, and that's kind of a favorite of everybody's. I'll even get a piece of lutefisk out for you if you want.
No, thank you.
It's special. It's a pretty big time of the year around here. I enjoy this more than I do any other holiday.
Yes, traditions go on at Camp 6, but the camp cannot avoid change.
This one is the original Buckhorn Bar. It's gone now. When the A team died, the Buckhorn Bar died.
And now the B team runs the place.
No, we're the B team.
It's 3 of them.
Yeah. I'm the better one of the B team.
The B finest.
Brian, we
Ah, yes, like all deer camps on the night before opener, the boasting is expected. But the gathering at Camp 6 slowly comes to an end, as it always does, because opening day is on deck, waiting for a hint of dawn in the deer woods.
You've seen the camaraderie that goes with the cabin, but I think what it's really all about is just getting out and enjoying nature. There's just something about it when you're just sitting up here and the thrill of the hunt. In this stand, one of the unique things is someone brought a pencil out here one day a few years back, and you kind of count the number of deer you see. We've now seen 3 deer so far, 2 does and 1 buck.
Hours later, it's over. Another opening day for Camp 6 goes in the memory book.
There's just something special about coming out here with Dad and Grandpa. It's a connection and a time to bond that you don't get a lot of other times throughout the year. I thought for sure that there'd be more deer moving.
Deer camp traditions never get old.
Nope, they sure don't. And they are still making memories even now, right?
They are. And if you have a favorite deer camp story, please share it with us on our Facebook page or mnbound.com.
Until next week, don't forget to introduce a kid to the great outdoors.
Transportation provided by Premier Transportation. Call 1-800-899-7433. To get more Minnesota Bound, including full episodes, go to mnbound.com. And to follow our latest adventures, like us on Facebook.